If you've been waiting all year for the time to go, now is the time. Welcome to today's Astro-Numerology Forecast for August 2025. Hello, how are you doing? It's
Hi,
Leo
Kimbaley.
season. Happy Leo season to you and everybody that's out there. If you are Leo, please let me know in the comment section. I want to spot out all of my Leos so I can see you coming, but I'm sure I already can see you coming because Leos will be seen. So how's it going, Lloyd?
It is going fine on this end. It's amazing. We are in Leo season. It seemed like we were just in the Cancer season. Either time is going by fine or we're in a time warp or something, but it's very, very interesting how things are going.
Yeah, it seems strange that we're already in the 8th month of the year. I must admit, when I first learned numerology, one thing that I used to get confused was the 8 and the 1 because I thought 8 month it should be an 8 instead of the 1. But Leo is a number 1 energy. Can you tell us what the number 1 energy is?
Well, this time of the year is ruled by Leo, which is governed by the sun astrologically, but numerically governed by the number 1. 1 is always the first principle, the first one to leave home, the first one to go to school, the first one to break the barrier, the first woman, the first man, the first whatever the case is. It rules the first principles. And it's so interesting. Everybody can remember who came in number 1, but they can't remember who came in 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. But number 1, always, always. So 1's a standout. 1 stands alone. It's on a single principle. It represents individuality, visionary achievements, innovativeness. And as they say in one TV series one time, they go where no person has gone before. They're groundbreakers. They're innovators. They're pioneers. They're achievers. They're full of recognition. And so everybody remembers the first person to do this, the first person to do it. So this is where the Guinness record comes in. Who's the number 1 in holding their breath? Who's the number 1? You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is. But they will always, so number 1s will always stand out as long as civilization exists. So I'd say Leos are sitting in a good position.
Speaking of standing out, last month was not the month to be standing out. How was your month last month in the 7th universal month?
Well, I was in what is called an 11th cycle, which means I had ideas that came to me from on high. I got more into my meditation. I have a more understanding of relationships and things like that. So it was very, very interesting. Very interesting for me. And you?
Yeah, 7 was an interesting month too. Now that you say it, it's been more like a spiritual month for me. There is a lot of things that I've noticed even in the news and media. There has been a lot of secrets that's been revealed over the 7th month. I really didn't feel like being out and about a lot last month. So it was a very different month, but it was peaceful aside from some of those crazy dreams. But yeah, I like
That's
7 cycles.
that's interesting. I had it too because July last month was a 7 universal month. It is a month of spirituality, wisdom, secrets revealed, stranger dreams, which I had too. And I would say the United States had more things come up out of the woodwork than anything. And so it was a kind of, it's interesting because we live in a world that's more like materialistic or emotional, but the month we just left was more about getting one's spiritual house in order. to
Mm.
make sure you begin to see for yourself, what is it I'm doing? Why am I doing it? And why am I even fooling around with you? Whoever the case may be, you see. But it's a soul searching period. Anytime 7 comes, it's a time to stop, look, listen, and go down the rabbit hole and search. But this month, this month is a whole different ballgame. The usual suspect now. Here's what. August is an 8 universal month. How did I do it? I added 2025 to the 8th month of August, and that gave me 17, and 1 plus 7 is 8. Now, here are the usual suspects and descriptions: money, power, authority, achievement, recognition. But it really goes deeper than that. It's a cycle of ancestry, a cycle of reconnecting with your past, of legacies, call it what you will, what you want to leave for your loved ones or things like that. It's a cycle that deals with maturity, that in this month, a lot of people are going to do some growing up. So when they talk about a reality check, that's this month, okay? That's coming up. And it's not bad. It's about property. It's about marriages. It's about births. It's about transitions where people make transitions, or so to speak. And when I say births or pregnancies, it could be literal, but numbers also speak in symbolic terms. It could be also symbolic too, in terms of giving birth to an idea, birth to a business, birth to a plan, birth to an idea. It's about ambition. It's about wealth. It's about elevating your status, but also to the other side of the coin, it's about karma. It's about making sure you do what you're supposed to do. Because karma, there's some people that don't believe in karma. But for those who do know and understand, listen, it's not about being a saint per se, but it's just doing what you're supposed to do, not blocking other people's blessings, not being mean-spirited or anything like that. Because, they used to say karma is a you-know-what. So instead of doing those kind of things, just keep those things in mind. But this is a month for all of us to do things on a grand scale, to think big, even if you can't hit the sun, you hit the moon. You know what I'm saying? But to aim high, to raise your level of awareness. As you know, we always have our almanac. But before, let me tell you this. There's something I've added, which is what day is the new moon? What day is the full moon? Okay. The new moon is when both the sun and the moon are in the same sign at the same time. So since we are in since we're in the sign of Leo, the new moon will be on the 23rd of this month. Then the full moon is on the 9th. Now, the full moon means when the sun and the moon are in opposition signs. So that means on the 9th, when the moon is in the sign of Aquarius, opposite the sign of Leo, that's when the moon is bright in the sky. You can walk in the moonlight and stuff like that. But in the new moon, you can't see things. So it's those kind of things. We always do our almanac, so we can't leave our almanac out. Okay. So normally, what is the best time to buy a car? Well, the 16th is going to be the best day. And don't forget, Mercury went into retrograde on the 17th of last month and will end on the 11th of this month of August, Alex Haley's birthday. For those of you who got to do something to buy a car, the 16th will be good. Now, what about those who want to go into business? Well, for business, they need to do it on the 6th or the 14th. I would wait till the 14th after Mercury retrograde ends. Therefore, there's more clarity and things of that nature. As for the electronics, that will be the 7th and the 16th, also the 25th and the 26th of the month. Now, what about those people that want their hair to grow long? Well, from the 3rd through the 6th, that's going to be good time to do it. Also on the 30th and the 31st, as well as this month, okay? As for those who want to cut their hair to stop the growth, especially if it's been growing like a bush, the best time would be on the 11th, the 7th, the 14th through the 17th, as well as the 20th of the month. Now, believe it or not, this particular month, there's no ideal date to ask for a loan. But I would say if you're going to do it, you should do it around the new moon, which would be around the 22nd, 23rd, because the moon will be in that sign at the time. And that would be best. So that's how I see this. So again, Mercury retrograde ends on the 11th of the month. Since this is Leo season, you know who we're going to start with first.
Oh,
You are so obvious. You know, it's hard to keep a straight face when we do these.
hey, that's the Leo energy.
But you know what's so interesting, and I'll say this for Leos. I love Leos. Some of my best friends, my most important persons that's always had a profound impact on my life have always been Leos. From my sister to my best hanging buddy. You know, when you have a partner in crime, well, me and Lewis really did things we shouldn't have been doing. Okay. So, but a Leo, you know, so it's one of those kind of energies. So although we're supposed to be considered oppositional signs, I'd say in my case, it's like that, you know. Since this is Leo season, we're going to start with you, folks. If your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Leo, the theme for you this month is fulfillment. What do I mean? Contentment, attainment, realization of all the things you want to make happen. At the same time, it's a good time to begin to close the books on anything that has not been to your benefit, that has passed its time, that is toxic, that is non-productive, and to let it go. In the very first week, opportunities open up for you to begin to fulfill some of the things you want to take the initiative, to be proactive about getting started, getting things off the ground in the way you want to. In the second week, it says, okay, be more diplomatic. And that makes sense because around the 8th and the 9th, when the moon is in your opposition sign of Aquarius, it simply means don't push things, don't rush things. So yes, it's nice to fulfill things, but at the same time, be diplomatic. And because Mercury is still in retrograde, it just means exercise a little bit more caution and deliberation. However, as you go into the third week from the 15th to the 21st, that's when things begin to open up. Things begin to blossom. You begin to see the fruits of your labor, so to speak, to help fulfill some of those things you want to do. So yes, at the same time, it says to get rid or terminate or phase out things that are non-productive. But at the same time, it's also saying whatever you've had on the back burner, bring them front and center to fulfill those dreams. And the week of the 15th to the 21st is going to be especially nice, and especially around the 21st and the 22nd into the 23rd, when the moon will actually be sitting in your sign of Leo. So I expect it to be an extremely favorable period and a great weekend for you to do the things you have to do. But as you go into the final week, the closing days, it's going to allow you to form a structure, have a blueprint or a plan of exactly what you plan to do that will begin to lead you into the month of September. But overall, Leos, this is your time to fulfill all the things you've been wanting, all the things you've been denied, to do what is best for you. Now, who is likely to help you during this month, Leo season? That would be Aries, Scorpio, and your sign Leo, of course, or if you're born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. The color to wear is crimson. The stone or crystal to carry over and above shungite is garnet. If your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Virgos, your theme this month is about boundaries. You know, I've been hearing that all over the place. Boundaries this, boundaries that. I don't know what it's like, what you bring to the table, but it means in the sense of establishing some limits, establishing some borders around you, establishing some parameters, to not kind of be all over the place, but to have a sense of purpose and direction and determination of how you're going to go from plan A to plan B, especially in the first week, because that's going to be a turning point in your life altogether. You'll have a better sense of what way you need to go, whether you should go left or right or continue or go back and go down another exit and come off to see what's best for you. But the change is going to actually come also in the second week. But in the second week, especially around the 10th, 11th, and 12th, when the moon is in your direct opposition sign of Pisces, that's a time where caution and deliberation need to be taken care of, and definitely stay within your parameter. definitely stay within your lane, so to speak. That would be best for you. Going into the third week, though, from the 15th to the 21st, that is a very quiet moment. Now it's like you catch your breath. You got to take a deep breath. It would actually be a time to not only follow your hunches, but to maybe get into some form of meditation or prayer or something of that nature where you can find a oneness with yourself to go within. You will find that interesting. Toward the last week of the 22nd to the end of the month, that's your financial week. Now, that tells me there's a lot of things that's going to be jumping off, especially around the last Saturday or the 26th of that week, give or take. And especially, too, because on the 23rd, 24th, 25th, the moon is actually going to be sitting in your sign of Virgo anyway. So all of this looks extremely, extremely beneficial as you begin to close and phase out the month of August. Now, who's going to help you? Aquarius, that's me, thank you. Leos, and anybody born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month will be there for you in some way, shape, or form. As for the color to wear, make it earth toned. You are an earth sign. So an earth tone colors would be very, very natural for you, very organic for you this particular month. Now, the stone or crystal to wear or carry other than shungite should be emerald. Okay. That is very, very important. Your sun, your moon, or your ascendant is in the sign of Libra. Your theme this particular month is about versatility, to be adaptable, to be flexible, to kind of like, kind of like be loose, not just tight, but just be enough where you can kind of go with the wind. Those things when the wind is blowing, those adaptations of nature that can go with the wind tend to do well as those who try to go against the wind. Because when Mother Nature is blowing and you being an air sign, you will find that this will be something else. But in your case, this is going to be a very good time for you to kind of like adapt in your relationships, adapt in your health. Just be a little versatile, be a little bit more, as I says, more flexible and fluid in what you do. Now, in that first week, again, it means dealing with your personal life, personal appearance, education, your home. But as you go into the second week of the 8th through the 14th, it's going to allow you time to step back and reflect and begin to question how versatile are you really? And is it really serving a purpose? Is it serving humanity or whatever the case is? But it's about change and opportunities that cannot be avoided as you go in. By the way, it's in that second week around the 13th and the 14th. The moon will be in your opposition sign, all right, of Aries. And therefore, it says just be a little bit more mindful during that 2-day period. But it would be best to kind of get some time to yourself and meditate and reflect. That would be best. The following week, though, the 15th to the 21st, is going to allow you to really push forward with the things you want to get done, especially with your business, your career, your job, your profession, call it whatever area of it is you want to. You'll find that because you'll be in a period that deals with a reflecting of the past, to be really to your advantage to kind of stop, look, and listen and begin to see how you can be more adaptable. It's in the last week, the final week, around the 26th and the 27th, when the moon is in your sign of Libra, which is more beneficial to you. It indicates an opportunity to travel, to get away, to make some dynamic changes for yourself, to fulfill some of your dreams, and also to begin to inspire and motivate and bring out the best in other people as you would want the best to be brought out in yourself. So that's how I see this. Nothing but change, adaptability, and by the way, promote yourself to the hilt. Whatever gifts, talents, skills, and abilities you have, make the most of it. You will find that the people who will help you this particular month will be Virgos and Geminis, or people born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. Now, the color to wear this particular month, Libra, is blue from the lightest to the darkest. And you'll find that the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite is lapis lazuli. Now, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Scorpio, your theme this month is about results, to be result-oriented, to determine the outcome, to what kind of impact are you going to make as a result of doing the things you need to do. Results means to see at the end of what you put in, what the outcome is. To begin to measure it, to see it in crystal clarity. And you'll find that in this first week, especially, it's going to allow you to begin to focus on the things that need to be done, focus on the things that makes your dreams worthwhile, also focusing on what needs to let go in your life, to kind of like let bygones be bygones, to put them aside, because you want the kind of results that keeps you moving forward rather than keep you in a steady place or moving backwards. So that's what will be happening. It's in the second week that allow you to kind of really step out there and do the things you need to. So from that 8th to the 14th, it does suggest that some things that are be happening that are very important. This may give you a promotion or a raise or some recognition, but something new is in the works, definitely for sure. But as you go into that third week, from the 15th to the 21st, you'll find that it means take your time, which is not always easy for Scorpios because you can be very assertive, because on the 15th and the 16th, the moon will be sitting in your opposition sign of Taurus. So it just simply means exactly that. Just be patient, let things happen organically. Don't force things. That would be in your best interest. But as you go into the home stretch, especially around the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of the month, you're going to find that that's when things are going to open up for you. If there have been any legal or semi-legal matters that you need to address, it should be resolved successfully in your favor. And you're going to find that it will be an excellent time as you close out the last phase of the month of August to begin to build a network of contacts and people who can make things happen and go your way. Now, who is likely to help you during the month of Leo or August? Scorpio would be Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra, or anybody born on the 8th to 17th or the 26th of the month. The color that you should wear, if nothing else, is metallic gray. Okay. They're all shades of it, but that would be important. And the stone or crystal you should wear or carry is definitely over and above shungite, is hematite. Now, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Sagittarius, your theme this month is about adaptability, to adjust, to regulate, to fine-tune your life this month. Now, this is a very good period for you because Sagittarius is a fire sign. So this month of August, you are in your natural element, no question. And there's a lot of similarity between the both of you. But it means at the same time to begin to mend fences, to begin to see how you can do things in a teamwork fashion. Because somewhat like Leo, Sagittarius can be very, very individualistic, very independent. But this month is suggesting that it takes a stand to go with other like-minded people, to going in the same direction as you. And if you can do that, especially in the first week, you're going to find that definitely to your advantage, because on the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, coming out the gate of August, the moon will be sitting actually in your sign of Sagittarius. So you couldn't have asked for a better time to get the month or to get the ball rolling. It's in that second week that you're going to have more of a sense of order and purpose and establish more of a routine, so to speak, to kind of give direction and focus to the balance of the month. And you will find that as you go into the second half of the month, from the 15th to the 21st, on the 17th and 18th, you just have to be a little mindful of the moon stressing you, since it'll be sitting in your opposition sign of Gemini. But at the same time, so if you got travel plans, just be mindful, double check them, don't assume. And although Mercury will still be, well, it'll be ending on the 11th of the month, but we'll still be in the shadow effect. So if you got travel plans, just be a little bit more mindful of that. Now, as you go into the final week, all right, believe it or not, on the very last day of this month, the moon will be back in your sign again, like it was in the opening month of August anyway. But in this way, it deals with relationships and finances. So it should be a very favorable, personally rewarding kind of cycle for you. In other words, in the way you do things, okay? Now, who is likely to help you during this particular month will be Cancers, or those that are born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of the month. Now, the color you should wear is silver, any any form of silver from the lightest to the darkest, and the stone or crystal you should wear or carry over and above shungite is jade. Now, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Capricorn, your theme is about wisdom, to be a seeker of knowledge and understanding, and have foresight as well as insight into what you plan to do. 7 is one of those kind of cycles that you're going through, or the cycle that you're going through that affects wisdom, means to not chase after what you want, but more to think and reflect about what you want and let go and let God bring things to you. And this is going to be especially the case in the very first week, because it does indicate something from your past is going to come back in, that's going to make some changes or give you some insightful understanding about how you move forward. And since Capricorn is an ancestral sign, and you'll be in that first week of ancestry, I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't family reunions of some kind, or high school, college years, some event that brings you back with people that you haven't seen, and especially on the 6th and the 7th, because the moon will be sitting in your sign during those 2-day periods. Is as you go into the second week, that now you're going to see that now you feel that there are avenues that you can begin to phase out of your life, but also avenues that you can manifest to make your dreams come true in terms of being a seeker of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's what this whole theme is about. So if you don't want to be bothered with a lot of people, if you just want to be left alone, if you want to go somewhere where the sand, the sea, and the sun, that makes all the sense in the world for Capricorns this particular month of August. However, between the 15th and the 23rd and the third week around the 19th and 20th, the moon will actually be sitting in your opposition sign of Cancer. So what it simply means is during that 2-day cycle to just really kind of lay back, don't force things, don't push things, even though you're going to feel this urge to kind of step out on your own and make your moves and later for everybody else. The strategy is still to be more mindful, that a little caution goes a long, long way over that 2-day period. However, as you end the week of the 15th of the 22nd to the end of the month, it tells me around about that last Monday or somewhere around the 20th or the 29th, give or take a day or two, that's going to be some partnership is going to come into your life that will bring some people together in a very meaningful, important way that makes things that you can move forward in the future for yourself. You will find that those who are likely to help you will be under Pisces or Cancer, or they will be born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, and the 29th of the month. You can't get any further than that, all right? So anyway, what is the color that Capricorn should wear? Believe it or not, lavender. Lavender is a very beautiful color, spiritual in nature, and because of the cycle you're in, being a seeker of wisdom and insight and understanding, it's perfect for you. Now, the stone or crystal you should wear or carry over and above shungite should be fluorite. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Aquarius, your theme this month is about optimism. Now, what do you mean? They have a sense of certainty. They have a sense of trust. They have a sense of reliability. That's the main thing about it. You know, sometimes when we listen to what's going on in the world, in the news, or whatever the case is, things can be very, very negative. But despite what negativity comes your way, be optimistic in its outcome, because that will be your success for this particular month if you maintain that theme. Be optimistic as you come out the gate, especially because you're going to find that there are going to be some parameters, some rules you're going to have to live by. Sometimes Aquarians don't like being restricted. They kind of like being loose probably because they're air. But it says to stay within the parameters, stay within the lanes of things, and it will be well worth it, especially as you come out in the second week of the 8th through the 14th, because around the 8th and the 9th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, that's when it's going to bring about a change that's very important. And with it's going to come a lot of opportunities and possibilities to kind of really enhance your name, enhance your reputation, and take advantage of maybe some travel opportunities for all I know. It's going to be in the third week, the week of relationships, the week of adjustments, that things are going to have to be a little bit more mindful. So if you need to improve on your health, on your appearance, on your home, that would be the best time to do it. But as we move out of the third week into the fourth week, around the 21st, 22nd, going into the end of the month, the moon during that 2-day period is going to be sitting in your stress sign of Leo. So it simply means don't be pushy, don't force things, but let things happen on its own. Because as you go into the final week, your theme should be to know thyself, to have a sense of optimism with the certainty of knowing who you are, what your value is, what you, as they say, bring to the table now. And this way you can move forward with that kind of trust and whatnot. But believe me, the more optimistic you are, I don't care what comes your way. And if somebody says you can't do this, all your optimism is saying, yes, I can. That is the thing for you. You'll find that those who are likely to help you will be Sagittarius and Pisces, or they will be born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month. Now, the color you should wear during this month of August is soft blue, okay? Light color blue, baby blue, things of that nature. And the stone or crystal you should wear or carry over and above shungite should be amethyst. Now, what about Pisces, okay? For Pisces, your theme this particular month, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Pisces, is intuitions. To have a hunch, to have an instinct about things. And this should be easy for you, Pisces, because Pisces is known as the psychic sign in the zodiac anyway. So you will be in your natural element to kind of be sharp about something, to kind of feel when something is not right. I'm not feeling this situation. You might have to say, you know, I'm not feeling you either. It might be that kind of energy. But whatever it is to follow your instincts to the letter, to follow that intuition, whatever the gut is saying, whatever is, you know, if you just, I'm telling you, it's very interesting that why you can meet a person for the first time, feel comfortable with them, and meet another person for the first time who said or did nothing to you, and you just not. Well, that's the kind of intuition you're going to be exhibiting, especially as you come out the gate in the first week. But it says don't overextend yourself, don't get too carried away, but keep that air of optimism as you move forward in it. Around the second week of the 8th through the 14th, especially on the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, that's when things are really, really going to be heightened even more so. But at the same time, it's going to be heightened to the sense of how you can establish some order and purpose in your universe. Around about the third week, it indicates there's an opportunity to travel or make some important changes in some way, shape, or form. And you will find, though, as you go into the last week that affects emotions and the home and family members, you have to be a little careful around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Virgo. But over and above that, adjustments are in order. You should be able to do very, very well. But again, since that week, that last week, or I should say it specifically, that last Friday or somewhere around the 24th, although the moon will be sitting in your sign, still follow your first mind and err on the side of caution, okay? Now, who's likely to help you this particular month? It will be those under the sign of Cancer, or if they're born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, 25th, or 29th of any month. Now, the color that you, Pisces, should wear is colors of soft green, and the stone or crystal you should wear or carry over and above shungite is selenite. That is very important. Now, let's say your sun or moon or ascendant is in the sign of Aries. Okay, the theme for you this month is to set some goals, to state your intentions, to state what your objective is, to have some clarity about the direction you are heading in and why you're heading in that direction. You're going to find that with their certainty and with this goal setting, that you will be able to get things done, especially in the first week when you begin to phase out, I don't need this, I don't need that, or anything or anyone that's blocking your blessings from setting your goals. This is going to be important. But as you enter the second week, that's going to be great because around the 13th and the 14th, the moon will actually be sitting in your sign. So I would expect some kind of raise or promotion or acknowledgement or something to come into play that's going to make a big, big difference. As you enter the third week, though, it tells me you got to be a little diplomatic, got to be patient, because Aries can be something else, somewhat impulsive from time to time, but that would not be the best way to go. So even though Mercury retrograde will end officially on the 11th, you'll still be in that shadow effect that should be spilling into that third week of the 15th through the 21st. So just make sure you think before you speak and think before you act. That will make a difference. As you go into the final week, though, it tells me don't overextend yourself, because the moon is going to be sitting in your opposition sign on the 26th and 27th in the sign of Libra. And so that means to not overdo yourself, not to take on more you can chew, and make any promises that you can't keep. That's very, very important. Now, who is likely to help you during this period of August? Aries will be a Capricorn or an Aquarius, or they will be born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month. The color you should wear is dark gray during this month, and the stone you should wear or carry over and above shungite should be pyrite. That would be one of the stones to carry. As we go into Taurus, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Taurus, your theme this particular month is about spontaneity. Now, that's not easy being you, Taurus, because Taurus is a fixed sign. You know, you're set in your ways. Not all of you, of course. I know that some nice Tauruses, but the point is, it means you got to be flexible. You got to deal with some impulse. You got to improvisate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to allow you to be kind of more fluid, so to speak, to be more not set in your ways, but to make sure that you can adjust and deal with what you want to do. But especially in the very first and second day, because the moon will be sitting in your opposition sign of Scorpio. And so, although you're saying, okay, so if you don't have that patience, I do understand with the moon sitting in your stress sign in that first week, but nonetheless, it is well worth it, and about making adjustments. It's as you go into the second week that you'll have time to kind of back up, reflect, have some interesting dreams, and maybe during this time, get into something relating to prayer, meditation, or something that you can get closer to yourself inwardly. That would be very important to you. Around the third week of the 15th to the 21st is when the moon will be sitting in your sign, actually, technically on the 15th and the 16th. So that's going to make way for you to begin to make some power moves. In fact, when it comes to the romance and finance, that one was when I would hang my hat on during that third week. And especially, again, during that 15th and 16th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, because it's going to allow you to build something meaningful and whatnot. But ironically, Taurus, as you go into the last week, definitely mind your manners, definitely mind your actions. Why? Because the moon on the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th as well goes back into your opposition sign of Scorpio again. So it means to avoid impulses to the degree, although, yes, it is about being spontaneous, but being impulsive in that last week will not be to your advantage. So just err on the side of caution, double check everything you say, double check everything you do, and err on that. And so that's how you end it, on a note of caution, not paranoia, not I'm not going to go out the house, but knowing good and well that anything that even gives a hint of stress, you ought to avoid it at all costs. Now, who is going to help you during this time of the month of August will be Geminis and Virgos, or anyone born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. Now, the color to wear for you this month, Taurus, will be turquoise, and the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite should be aquamarine. Now, for Geminis, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Gemini, you know what your point is, and it's kind of challenging for you too, is to focus, to have a focal point, to create a spotlight, to create a centerpiece, as it were. Because Geminis can only be all over the place. You know, I think of all the signs, Gemini gets the worst. You know, y'all two-faced, y'all this, that, and the other, which is not true. Those are just some haters that made it up. But you got to understand, for every zodiac sign, there's always somebody that says, well, this is this and this is that. Well, Geminis, for some reason, tend to get the more root of it. But so it's about stay focused, stay on point, have a sense of direction, a sense of purpose, a sense of order of how you're going and why you're going in that direction. And this is going to be very important because on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, the moon is going to be sitting in your stress sign anyway, all right, of Sagittarius. And so what that simply means is, so if you're coming out the gate on impulsiveness, that would not be the best strategy for you to do, because Mercury will still be in retrograde through August the 11th. And this first week alone, you'll still be in the very closing of it. But by doing things in an impulsive way will get you nowhere fast. So focus. That is the point. Now, as you get into the second week, of the 8th through the 14th, you'll find things will be more in your favor as it relates to the home, relationship, your personal appearance, being a work in progress, doing the things you need to do. So that's going to be important as you go into that 3rd week of the 15th through the 21st. Well, on the 17th and the 18th, the moon is sitting in your sign that now allows you the opportunity to go deep, to begin to question things with thoroughness, and to begin to get to the bottom of some answers that have been eluding you for a bit. That you're going to find will be in your favor. And you will find that less is more, that the less you say, the less you will know. The less you speak, the more you'll hear. And those are the kinds of things that will work to your benefit. And as for the closing phase of the month, of the 22nd to the end of the month, you will find that now you can make some moves. However, on the very, very last day of the 31st of August, the moon will hit you in your opposition sign one more time in the sign of Sagittarius. So it simply means to kind of, yeah, I know you're on a roll. Yeah, you might be feeling your oats. Yeah, you might feel you can conquer the world because you're focused and now you shine the spotlight on things. But nonetheless, on that very last day, take it easy. Don't rush yourself, okay? Now, the people that are likely to help you during this time will be Geminis and Leos in a minor way, other Geminis perhaps. And you'll find that those that are born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month will be of benefit to you in some way, shape, or form. Now, what is the color you should wear? Should be gray, and the stone or crystal you should wear or carry should be onyx, all right? Now, finally, I know, see what it is like, Cancer, to be on the last of it? But if your moon, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Cancer, your theme, believe it or not, is about confidence, certainty, assurance, knowing that you're going to get the job done. You know, Cancers, one of the things they'll say, well, Cancers are meek and mild and whatnot, and sometimes uncertain. Well, your theme says to do things with confidence, to know that you, whatever you're doing is going to set the plan to get things done. Especially now it might be a little shaky coming out the gate because on the 6th and the 7th, the moon is going to be sitting in your opposition sign of Capricorn. So you're going to find that, well, things will be a little uncertain or up in the air about relationships, residence, working situations, but take your time because after the 7th, going into the 8th through the 14th, that's when things open up. Things begin to blossom. You begin to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to be more optimized, more optimistic, more motivated to think things to the next level, especially as far as your career and whatnot is concerned, as well as broadening your contacts. As you begin to enter the 3rd week, that's going to be the week of the 15th to the 21st. The 19th and the 20th is when the moon sits in your sign, which gives you that added assist to kind of get the job done, to be more focused. It only adds more to your confidence, adds more to your certainty about getting things done. It's nothing like having assurance that knowing the job is well done, that you laid a solid foundation for yourself. Well, that's exactly what's going to be happening for you in the 3rd week. And as you go out in the final week of August, that's going to bring about fundamental changes, dynamic changes that's going to allow you to travel, to explore other options and all the possibilities thereof. And I'm saying it's going to be a nice way for all Cancers. If you got something planned, that would be the week to savor it for sure. You'll find that Leos and Aquarians will help you, or anyone born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. Color for Cancers to wear this particular month is cream colors, okay? All shades of cream. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite is moonstone. That would be it. So there you have it for all the signs from Leo to Cancer for August of 2025 in an 8 universal month.
Thank you so much, Lloyd, for that. I was just thinking while you were saying that. Do you remember what episode this is? Is this 17?
No, this is episode 20. This is our 20th. This is our 20th recording.
Where was I
If
at
I'm
for
not
the other
mistaken,
3?
12, which is all last year, plus 8 is 20.
Okay,
So this month
okay.
represents our 20th nonstop recording. Actually, in 4 months, we'll be going on 2 years straight, no chaser.
Wow,
I say
wow.
the same thing too.
First
It's a
of
good
all, let me
feeling.
just say thank you so much for doing this for us, giving us our forecast. And since this is the number 8 month, the month of Leo, you know, I had to say that again. And we talked about how that number 1 is, and we talked about how the number 1 likes to do things a little different. They're the standouts. And I just want to say it was so creative. It was like Leo energy that really went into this. We just thought we were going to do one episode and be over with it, but it's like it just took a whole different transformation, and you've added so much over time. You've added crystals. Nobody does it like you do it, you know.
Well,
So
actually, it's all your fault because I was minding my business. And you said, well, why don't we just do this one time? And then we liked it. And therefore, now we're on our 20th. And so when I say it's all your fault, I'm saying it facetiously in a joking way because you have been the spark that have improved the newsletter. You have been the spark that has now added other dimensions. We started just doing the signs. Then we added colors. We added stones and crystals. We added signs that are assists. We then added an almanac. Then we switched and started with the signs. So I'm an Aquarius. I'm always in the 11th position. I was tired of being in last place. Okay. That's all I'm saying. So
you're right. It's because you're an Aquarius, not because you're tired of the 11th position only, but because you just got to do it different, right?
oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's my middle name, Lloyd Dippin Strayhorn.
Yeah, but I think it's wonderful, and I want everyone down in the chat to let us know what your July was like. How was it for you, and are you using your sun, moon, or rising? I know some people have been saying they've been using all 3.
Yes, yes, yes. Most people go by the zodiac sign because they're accustomed. Then more people that are more adapt or into the metaphysics will say, well, my moon is stronger or my ascendant. And that's another thing we had as a result of the feedback. So now we say, if your sun, your moon, or ascendant, we touching all the bases.
Yeah.
How you want to do it. See what I'm saying? But all of this has grown as a result of our viewers. And as you give us input, we add to this, we add to that, the almanac, the colors, the stones, the gems, the signs, the dates. All of that has as a result of our viewers, not us. We just following what you guys want. So whatever else you think you can add to this, we will definitely include it.
Yes, please let us know if there's something else you would like to hear about during these monthly forecasts. And for just a brief moment, I want to share something. Lord, you have a workshop that is coming up soon, and it is the Numbers You and Beyond workshop.
And you know what's interesting? You seem to be psychic because before you brought that up, I was going to say for all of our viewers, I am having a live workshop, Numbers, You, and Beyond, to teach you how to do this for a living. With so many people out of work or being laid off, this is an alternative. Numerology will never go out of business as long as people are walking the planet. It's going to be a 5-week course I'm going to be offering, which is learning the art of numerology as a career. I mean, when I first started, little in my imagination that I thought that I would write books and be on radio and television and have a successful radio show and cable shows and whatnot. But I've learned it, and what happens is there are a lot of people equally interested in the world of numerology, and it's so incredibly simple. And I would want them to spend 5 weeks with us starting on August the 31st. So as you saw, there was a QR code at the bottom right of the screen to take advantage and also sign up. There's a payment arrangements, whatnot, and I will teach you how to really do what is best for you in terms of, well, whatever the fee is for the class, you'll make that back in no time, because it's about teaching you how to do this, and it's fun. It is fun. It's a lot. And my able assistant, Ms. Kimbaley, will be right there. And in fact, she is going to be offering her input, because it's so amazing, because August is a business month, and she happened to be a business astronumerologist, helping people with businesses. So you couldn't have picked a better time. So as you see, excuse me, it'll be there on August the 31st over the next 5 weeks. And I guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun. I will always be available. My students that I taught last August, they all stay in touch with me. We're all family. That's how I operate. I'm not just take the course and buy. Many of them have appeared on my show as guests. So I am very, very serious in what I believe in, and I believe I can help you all get to that next level. So click on that QR code, join me, and I want all of you all sitting in the front row. That's what I want.
Okay. Any final words before we go?
Yes, for everyone, things are kind of crazy out here in the world nowadays, but focus on the things you have to do. And again, this month is about ancestry, legacies, maturity, understanding, and we should look at ourselves that we're all in a family. It appears that the whole world wants us to be kind of isolated, but we should act as a family, because we're all going to be in the same boat. So we better all learn how to swim in the same direction or row in the same direction. Okay. That's all I can say. But I thank everybody. And listen, Ms. Kimbaley and I are always open to any suggestions, comments, even criticism. I'm open to criticism because that's how I grow. So I'm not afraid of it. If you think we're doing something, or me, because it's really on me, that I'm not doing, feel free to express it. But every time I do, I just get better and better what I do. So I thank all of you. And you, Kimbaley, who would have known that we would have started this 20 segments ago? But this is our 20th recording of the forecast, and there's more to do. And I got plans for 2026. I ain't gonna tell you now. No, y'all gotta wait.
I have to know, but I do want to give everybody a final word of caution before I leave about this 8 month. You heard Lloyd say people may come back into your life. Just remember, when they come back, think about how they left before you go back. So if they come back, then you know they're still with the drama. Then send them right on back to where they were.
You know, and I will say that because I should have made it clear too. When it means people from the past, and I will often ask, how was it when you're separated or went in certain directions? If it was not challenging or stressful, that's fine. But sometimes people will say they've improved. And when I ask my clients, did that person who come back that was especially toxic really improve? Unfortunately, the answer 9 times out of 10, no. It just come with a new face, a new game, but that quickly flames out. So now you see why I said karma. So make sure you don't attract karma into your life, please.
Thank you so much for that last piece of wisdom that you gave us for today. And thank all of you for joining us and watching us every month. We'll talk to you in September. Enjoy the rest of August.
And all the best for you. And happy birthday, Leo.
Thank you.
You're welcome.